Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen, welcome back to what was on sale at the grocery store. And so I was at the grocery store this morning looking for other ingredients for other things that I'm doing. And there was a package of ground beef. It had a sticker on it that said, "Eat me tonight, 50% off." Don't have to tell me twice. So I'm going to make a soup that I make probably 4 or 5 times every winter. And I make it for a bunch of reasons. One, it's super easy to make, as you can see, or you will see. It's really tasty. There's a lot of different flavors that are going to happen here that are all going to come together into something that just gives massive, massive flavor. It's fairly nutritious. We get in some vegetables. It uses stuff that I mostly always have in the pantry anyway, right? There's onions, carrots. Carrots we grew ourselves this summer in our own garden. A little bit of celery, cabbage. Cabbage is always cheap. That's a little bit of turnip. I don't usually put turnip in, but I had a turnip left over from a video that I did a little while ago where we made an Indian curry from the 1880s. So I'm going to throw that in as well. There's always tomato paste hanging out. Some of the other ingredients we'll get to. It's cheap. It is a cheap soup, and I like an inexpensive soup. So we're going to brown off the beef. That's the first order of business. Just break it up and brown it off. Want to get some really good color on the bottom of the pot, and that will help to start building the flavor that we're going to get out of this soup. Ground beef is getting nice and brown at this point, and we've got some good fond on the bottom of the pot. So next in is about a half a can of tomato paste, a little over a quarter cup. And we'll just stir that in. There's a whole bunch of theories around why you would fry the tomato paste like this. I'm not on board with most of them. I do it because it sort of caramelizes some of the sugars and deepens the flavor, but people do it for all sorts of reasons. Now, the order of ingredients from here isn't that important. I'm going to throw in the onions, celery, carrots, marjoram, thyme, cloves, and chopped up garlic. At this point, we don't really need the onions to soften too much, or the carrots or the celery, because this is going to simmer for about an hour as we cook the rice. So I'm not too worried about that because it's going to happen anyway. And we've already built a huge amount of flavor in the bottom of this pan with the tomato paste and the beef. We're going to add some Marmite, some beef stock. There's so much going on here that if you're pressed for time, just move on to the next thing. So we need water and beef stock. You could use all beef stock if you want. You could use chicken stock if you want. You could use all water if you want. If your budget stretches to just using water, just use water. Again, we've built a lot of flavor in there with the beef and the tomato, and we're going to punch that up with some Marmite, which will really bring the flavor. So I'm going to use about that much, right? So we'll get that in. Going to bring this up to a simmer. That Marmite's already stirred in. I've got a bay leaf. I'm going to throw that in. I put the no, this is not rutabaga. I almost said rutabaga. I'm going to put the turnip in. This is actually turnip, not rutabaga. It's not swede. It's not, what are the other names for it? Neep. This is a turnip. So in goes the turnip, and that's the whole turnip. That's how you know it's a turnip. It's small and it's white. Rice. So the recipe is going to say half a cup of rice. I waver between a quarter cup and a half cup depending on how thick or thin I want it. Thick or thin also depends on how much water and stock you put in. I put in a total of 6 cups of liquid. Sometimes I only put in 4 cups. Sometimes I want it a little thicker. Sometimes I don't use rice. Sometimes I use barley, pot barley or pearl barley. Doesn't really matter. Whatever's in the cupboard. That was basmati rice. Again, doesn't matter. Whatever rice I've got in the cupboard, that's what goes in. It's really simple soup. This is half of a head of cabbage, a fairly small cabbage, and I chop it up pretty fine. In that goes, and again, it's one of those things where you could put more cabbage in if you wanted to. Stir this together. So once this comes up to a simmer, I'll put the lid on, turn the heat down to low, and just leave the lid on and let it go for about an hour. I've got another project in the freezer I need to check on. This is an ice pudding for the old cookbook show. Oh, that's looking really good. I'm excited about this one. Okay. Just about at a simmer. Lid on. Temperature down. And I'll see you in an hour. Whoa, look at that. Look at that color. Wonderful color. We can get rid of the bay leaf.
Hey,
Hey,
Glen.
Jules.
Hey, friends.
So
It's soup time. It is definitely soup season.
it is soup season. So just a tiny little taste, because you know
Just a tiny little taste. What?
there's ice pudding for the
Oh, in that case, yes, a tiny taste. I would hate to get full on
yes
my vegetables.
before you have ice. So the ice pudding is coming up on an old cookbook show on a Sunday.
pudding?
Yeah.
Okay, that intrigues me.
And beyond that, I eat this soup so often I know exactly what it tastes like. It's it's hot.
Oh, hot,
It's hot.
It's always good.
But even though there's not a whole lot that went into that, the flavor is always massive.
Yes, the Marmite helps. Mm-hmm. Or the Vegemite, or whatever it is you choose to put in it.
And the tomato paste. Mm-hmm. And all of the little parts all sort of combine into this one massive taste explosion. There's turnip, because I had a turnip left over from the curry that we made.
Well, and that's it. You can maybe we could turn that off. It feels a little. There you go. It's hot. It doesn't need to be any hotter.
You can play with your root vegetables.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's all fine.
Okay, this tastes like comfort, tastes like home. Something my mom made when I was a little kid all the time. Because it's inexpensive, it's quick to put together, and it's flavorful.
What else do you need to know? I mean, really.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
So play with the protein, you know, use different ground meats, play with your root vegetables, definitely. Use pearl or pot barley instead of rice, use different kinds of rice. This really is a great soup. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.